is cute.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Amber's channel.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Marco's here today, and as you can tell he's incredibly uncomfortable, but we forced him into it. It's a video that has been requested a lot. You're very popular, my dear. Little celebrity, and he's not going to talk. Apparently he's just going to sit there and nod his head and shake his head, so we might be here a while or we might be here for 5 minutes. But there's a lot of questions that I asked. Well, I put up a question box and asked you to ask Marco questions, so there are quite a few. Sorry. So if you don't already, head over to my Instagram, it's amber.izzo, and follow me there. What is Bruce doing? So we'll just get straight into it, shall we, dear? Okay, right. Question number 1. I get asked this an awful lot. Okay. Just be honest. Just, how do you feel about Amber sharing your journey so openly? It doesn't.
No, it really doesn't bother me. No, not at all. Not one bit. I think maybe to begin with, I was a little bit reluctant, a little bit hesitant that she was just going to share with everybody our business, our personal business. But she's doing good things, so it's all worth it. What
changed your mind? Just out of curiosity.
What changed my mind?
When was that tipping point? Like, when did you go from... Because you never said that to me. You never told me that you minded me sharing that.
No. I think because it helped you. I think when I noticed that it helped you, then that's all that mattered to me, really. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. And 3 years in, here we are.
Yeah.
You're finally on camera.
Yep.
Question. Stop peeking.
Go on.
They're secret questions.
Okay.
Question number 2. Have you ever had an issue with anything in particular that she's shared? They're trying to start a domestic.
No. Well, I don't watch all of the things that you share anyway.
What do you mean you don't watch all the things I share? You don't sit there and intently watch my stories and watch my YouTube videos.
No,
are you subscribed to my channel?
No, I don't know. I think so, yeah.
I think you were my first subscriber.
The first one. Yeah, I was the first one. But I've seen a couple.
Have you?
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Which ones?
Like the first 2.
Oh. Talk about support. Question number 3. Stop peeking!
Okay, go on then.
How have you found the entire process?
How I found the whole entire process of...
Like, I suppose from start to finish.
Of IVF.
Yeah, like, that was just the question.
I'd say it's a roller coaster, really. It's up and down. I'm relaxed about it most of the time. It's just those crucial points and those crucial moments of when it comes to the crunch, the testing especially, and waiting. Definitely anxiety levels go up a notch or 2. But apart from that, I just keep my mind occupied with other things.
You're quite good at that.
Yeah.
Like, I think we've had countless conversations, well, I suppose arguments really, where it's been like, you're so laid back about everything.
Yeah.
Marco's laid back about everything anyway. Like, I'm definitely the stress head in this relationship, aren't I?
Yeah.
I think stress head is definitely a word that most people would use to describe me, whereas you are just, you're so laid back, you're horizontal. It's, I don't know, it's strange. I wish
about most things anyway.
Yeah, about most things. Well, yeah, until I say I want another dog or anything like that, and then your stress levels go through the roof. Yeah. Or I'm spending money, or
football.
Football, yeah. Well, I did that story one time. I think everybody's seen you during that Chelsea game, and you were going mental. Oh, this is an interesting question. Well, kind of. How do you mentally prepare yourself for the cup?
Well, bearing in mind it's 2 or 3 days before any kind of release anyway. I don't need to gear myself up too much for it.
How did you find accessing tests for male factor infertility? So so the testing process, obviously it was quite hard for me to get any testing.
Oh, what, like from the doctor?
Yeah. Well, I assume so. It
seemed pretty easy, didn't it? I just, if I remember rightly, I just phoned up and I said, I need...
Yeah, but...
I was referred though, wasn't we, from...
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you weren't offered any testing until we got to the fertility clinic. Like, that was it, really, until that referral was made. But the assumption was always that it was me.
Yeah.
And I think even after the diagnosis, so when we got our results back, for anyone who's new, I think I was diagnosed with 2 blocked fallopian tubes and PCOS.
Yeah.
And you had like triple the amount of sperm that you needed,
Loads.
double the double the amount going in the right direction, but your morphology was less than 1%.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's never been any want to, from medical professionals anyway, there's never been any kind of pushing to test you any further and make sure that there's no infections or anything like that. So actually I'd say it was quite difficult. Even with the DNA fragmentation test, it was a professional that recommended we get that, but they're still mostly saying no. So I think it's harder.
It's, oh yeah, in that regards, I thought it meant from kind of just like having an actual test.
Oh, from the offset, no, but
it was.
But we never went
delving deeper into everything. Yeah, seems like a bit of a struggle to get to any kind of results.
But we never, like when we went to the doctors initially, we never just asked for a test for Marco. Like we never went to the doctors, and it was only when we then got referred for testing because of my issues that they thought, oh, better test you while we're at it, more than anything, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you always had the same level of optimism that IVF will work?
From start to now? No.
I think initially you thought it would work. Initially,
yeah, that's what I mean. Really... Initially I was just like, it's going to work, we're going to be alright, don't worry, it's just your fallopian tubes, there's nothing else to it. And then as you go on, there's more problems and there's little problems, and that didn't work, that hasn't worked, and then it's just been a couple of disasters. And so yeah, I think it's only natural that you kind of doubt anything after that. It's just a natural thing to go, do you know what, we've had 2 disasters. But I feel optimistic going forward with a new clinic.
Yeah,
definitely. I definitely feel a lot more.
Yeah, I think when we had that open evening, it was almost like we got off that call and we both just kind of looked at each other a bit like, feel quite emotional. Like it was definitely a step forward. But I think that first round, when we were going for scans and things weren't quite the way they should be, I think if anything you not took it harder than me, but I think it definitely impacted you more than I thought. Because I think we expected it to be quite plain sailing because we'd been told that it would be quite plain sailing. So yeah. Right. Did you ever worry or think about infertility before you started trying or when you were younger?
No, I suppose not. I don't know. What do I talk about? You know, in my 30s, and I was in 2 previous long-term relationships, and even though we've never, we never really tried it had never happened accidentally or anything like that before. So it crossed my mind and thought, even though nothing's really been tried, is there something wrong? Could there be something wrong? Maybe there is something wrong.
Do you ever talk to your mates about infertility?
No, not really.
Talk to your clients?
Yeah, I'll talk to my clients. And if my mates are my clients, it might get mentioned. But I talk to my clients about it, I'm pretty open about it. Yeah, it doesn't bother me talking about it, but it's not something that I would bring up just willy-nilly in the pub or anywhere like that. No. Especially not in a group.
No.
I
think they ask sometimes, don't they? Like I know Dario will ring you and he'll...
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. A couple of them have got interest in what's kind of going on, and they'll say,
But I think certain people, I think friends-wise, especially your friends, I think where I'm friends with the woman in the relationship, if you like my best friend is married to Marco's best friend, and I think for him everything just gets relayed through me anyway, that the conversation doesn't really...
Yeah. But at the same time, I've got clients as well that I've been doing their hair for years and years, so I would consider, friends, but not friends. Not my, you know what I mean? Not my closest, boys, but close, still friends, and they will just message me randomly if I've not spoken to them, during lockdown and stuff, and they'll ask me about, and stuff.
Yeah. I think we've both had a really good support system in that sense, haven't we? I think friends, family.
Yeah.
What advice would you give a woman wanting to support her husband if his results weren't great but hers were fine?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I went off on one.
It's like on the chase. What advice would you give a woman wanting to support her husband if his results weren't great but hers were fine?
Oh man, I'm rubbish at advice.
What would you want from me in that situation? So do you remember when we got your sperm results back before I had my laparoscopy and we thought that the issue was just you? At that point, what would you have wanted from me? What did you want from me?
Oh, God.
Me to back the hell off?
Probably, yeah. Just like, I think it all depends on the individual. Like, there were times where I was just like, just leave me alone. Like, I don't really want to talk about it. I don't really want to think about it. I just want to put it to the back of my head and not even have to, yeah, kind of consider anything about it. But others, they might just need, as long as they know that, I think, you're not, there's no blame, you know, and I think that's, yeah, if there's no blame, then that's good.
Yeah, I agree. If your morphology doesn't improve, would you ever consider sperm donation?
Probably not. Oh, I don't know, that's a tough one.
I'd agree on that stance, and I would say probably not.
Probably not.
I don't think it's not really something we've discussed in masses of detail, because I think we know that that route probably isn't for us. I think if we needed any kind of donation, I think if it was an embryo donation, then it would be a little bit different because it wasn't genetically either of us. But I still think we'd go to adoption before we did any kind of donation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thinking about it, yeah, I think that would be a no-no from me.
Yeah, I think it's something that obviously a lot of people do when they need to, and it's, you know, it's great and that's for them. But for us, I just don't think that would be the best way to go, especially when we've said that we won't do another egg collection for financial reasons massively.
Yeah.
I don't think,
yeah.
I think we're on the same page with that. Do you have any tips about how I can make my husband talk about it a bit more and feel a bit more engaged?
No.
At least you're honest.
I haven't. I really don't. I'm rubbish for advice like that.
I think it's difficult though, because you're like it. You don't really talk about it unless I bring it up.
Yeah, if you bring it up, like, I think it's different. If you're bringing it up and he's still not willing to talk about it.
But you're like that
then
sometimes.
Am I?
Well, yeah. There are times where you just don't want to talk about it. Because it's all I'm talking about. Like, we've had conversations where, because I do what I do, when I do Instagram and I do YouTube and I sit and talk about it all of the time.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it all the time.
No, I don't want to talk about it all the time, but when you bring it up, I think it all depends on what the conversation's about. Sometimes I don't want to talk about, no, I think, I don't know.
Maybe you just like set times and you're like, if there's a conversation you want to have, right, we talk about it for half an hour and then that's it. We're not going to give it any more of our energy for that day. Yeah. I don't know, because it can consume you. But I don't know. I think, yeah, I suppose when I want to talk about it, you do talk about it. Do you feel quite left out during IVF? Is there anything that can make you feel more included, like doing the injections?
I've never felt left out. Never felt left out by it. And it was good. Initially, it was nice I did a couple of times, didn't I? You did
it once and you made me bleed, so right, you never did it again.
Yeah, well, there we go. But I felt involved. And after that, no, it's fine. Like, if you want to do them, you crack on, you do them. I'll watch. I was there a couple of times, I was watching.
The first cycle, definitely.
Yeah, the first cycle was definitely there. And then the second time, seemed like you were at work a lot more, though. Yeah, the second time.
It was hard in the sense that when we went through IVF, both times I was working shifts, so I would either, if I was injecting at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'd already be at work. There would be times where at night I would be injecting. There were times where on the train to London to go to the scans, like, you didn't come to every scan.
No.
Not because he's an arse, just I think that was an agreement we had that it wasn't worth you taking the day off work for. So yeah, I would be injecting on trains and all sorts, so you weren't ever...
No, I was definitely, yeah,
not so much.
Second time round, not so much.
But I also didn't want him to, like, there was an element of control for me that I like doing the injections for that reason. See, control freak. But I think I don't know, like, if you'd have expressed a real desire to want to do that, then maybe that would have been different. But for me, I didn't want you doing the injections, but maybe that's the way other people could. But I do think, like, the clinic, I don't think ever really made you feel involved in it. Like, there wasn't, it was all about me. I don't know whether there's anything.
Yeah, you were the one with most of the questions anyway. You were the,
just sit back and take it.
I was just sitting there going, okay.
I'll do my business.
Yeah.
You do the rest.
I'll do what I've got to do.
Oh, goodness me. Okay. How can I support my husband more after a failed round? I feel like all the focus is on me, with people asking me if I'm okay, but it hurts for him too. Did you find that?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But I'm a little bit more relaxed. I'm definitely a lot more relaxed about it all. But yeah, there was definitely a couple of times. It is something that you notice. It's definitely something that you notice where people definitely ask you more and how you are and how you feel about it all more so. But again, it depends. I think it depends on a personal level. Like my clients will always ask, obviously they're with me, so they'll ask me, how do you feel? How do you feel? Oh, you know. But when we're together, it always just definitely seems more directed at Amber. But I can't say it bothers me too much. Maybe that is because I do talk about it with my clients, not all my clients, but you know, certain clients and stuff. So I talk about it enough to be able to get anything that I want to say, and I feel comfortable talking about it, that I don't need that from everyone.
I agree. I think a lot of the focus is on me, but I think, like, I know when it failed, and like obviously the second time we were in lockdown, so we couldn't see anyone. Like when my mum would text me to see how I was, she would say, "How's Marco?" But nobody would really reach out to you as such. Like I think even your dad really would talk to me before talking to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite a common thing. But I think, like, for example, when Becky came around, she dropped off at the doorstep, didn't she? She dropped off like a big
all the presents and stuff are for you.
But Becky did. Yeah. Becky did bring things around for you as well.
She did. Yeah.
But people will send me flowers, and as much as they are like they're for both of us, and they are addressed to Amber and Marco, obviously they're for me. Yeah.
Oh.
Poor little
but
forgotten
no, it's fine.
boy.
I deal with it okay, but it doesn't mean everyone does, you know.
No.
You know, some men might feel a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Emotional?
Yeah, just not offended, but hurt by it. They're not the words I'm looking for either, but they might feel like they're a little bit left out to the side. So yeah, how do you... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know advice on how to include him more.
It's more for the other people, isn't it? It's the other people around, making sure that they're the ones that make.
Yeah. I think as long as when it's in conversation and stuff, that maybe you just put, you know, and I'm sure people do. They involve their husband in this. Oh yeah, we did this, or yeah, I feel this, and we both feel this.
Does it impact you more than you let on?
More than I let on. Who's it? Who's?
To me, to anyone.
No, probably not.
No?
Probably not.
I think I wish it did.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm losing it sometimes, and you're just.
I think because I'm always I am still quite positive. It's not game over. So as long as it's not game over, then I'm good. So.
I think if it was game over, I think if it came to game over, like if we get to the end of this cycle and we haven't got anything to freeze and it hasn't worked again, then I think perhaps you would handle this quite differently. Because I think you're just a very optimistic, very positive person. Like I don't think you fully, like I've sat there and I've had nights, haven't I, where I'm completely very, very aware of the fact that this might not work, whereas I don't feel like you go through that process. So I wonder whether
only like briefly, like I'll have the brief moment, and yeah, there's always a little kind of few seconds of worry and thinking, oh, do you know what? There's a realization of shit. This may never work. We may not ever have our own biological children. But then I think about something else, and then it goes.
Then the football comes on and that's it, his attention's gone.
Yeah. That's it.
The next question then. Do you get angry or jealous when friends announce pregnancies?
No, not really, no.
I don't think you ever have you?
No. No. If anything, my first thought is always Amber. It's always like, if I found out before Amber, then I'm like, oh, okay, she might take this not so well. Yeah. And that's the harder part. Whereas no, I've always been 100% happy and 100%, yeah, not jealous at all. Like, the announcements aren't what get me, I'm not jealous as such, but it's more little things, like when I see dads with, you know, they'll talk to me about, or they'll see their boy and they say, oh yeah, he's doing this at football, or he's doing that, or we're going to go and do that. And there's just little glimpses of, I just think, oh man, yeah, I like that. Like, that's where I feel a little bit of the jealousy. But announcements and new babies and all that, no.
You don't really do babies, do you?
No, not really.
You're very much like other people's kids.
Yeah.
I always remember when we were, was it Dario, and we went round and they'd just had a little boy. We went round and said to Marco, do you want to hold him? And he was like, no, not really. Just sat down.
I think, no, they're great, but I'm just not bothered about holding babies.
I think you're, yeah, you've never really shown you're more toddlers, I think, that...
Yeah, toddlers.
Like when we're around people who have got toddlers, you're much more involved than...
Yeah, when they can do things.
Yeah, like when we had a barbecue and they came round, you're playing football with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think, like, I know you've had some clients and, like, they've come in with their kids and you've come in and you've been like, oh, it really got me. Not, I mean, you've not come in and sat down and just cried, but you've come in and you've told me.
I've just gone, oh yeah, it's like, yeah. There's a few, and I just think, oh man, that's really good. That's goals. That's family goals. That.
But yeah, I think you definitely know it for more than me. Like, I know we had somebody in the family who fell pregnant, and you didn't tell me for about a week.
Yeah.
And then decided to tell me when I was drunk, which was a really good idea.
You learn.
You learn. But it's so when our best friends had a baby. How old is he now? How old's Romeo? About 7-8 months now. Yeah. And I think when we were told, we were told over the phone, weren't we? And I think you knew straight away, didn't you, when I was upstairs, and you just heard me almost shriek, oh, congratulations! Yeah. Like, my voice went up 50 octaves. But you've always been really good for me, I think, when things like that.
Always good for you.
Although, I told you about pregnancy not that long ago, and you went, all right, good for them. And that was it, and that was all I got.
Yeah.
Like, you're not very emotionally attached, I don't think, to other people's pregnancies at all, whereas I'm really, like, excited about it.
And that's probably most blokes, to be honest. And it's not, no, but it's not even a lad thing, it's just, I'm not a lad, I'm just not.
You're not a lad. When I moved in, you had a list of boys' names written down that wall.
That sounds quite the opposite. Yeah.
No, this was the definition of a lad's pad when I moved in.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not. Alright, okay, fair enough. But it's, yeah, I don't mean, yeah, it's not, I don't mean it in that kind of way where I'm not, don't care. But I don't really care. So, not that much. I do to a point. Like, I like it when my friends and stuff have kids. I think it's great. It's a great occasion. But that's as far as it goes, really. I'm not like, oh, should we go and see the baby? Let's go hold the baby. Let's buy something for the baby. You know, but you're
the complete opposite. Yeah. Somebody has a baby and I bankrupt myself. Yeah. Okay, so have you had any therapy because of it, or would you consider it?
Nope. If I needed it, I would always consider it, but I've never felt like I've needed it. But if I ever did, in the future, you never know. You know when how things are going to be. But yeah, I'd always be an advocate for people that need help with therapy. But personally, no, not needed it.
Oh, this is an interesting question. I like this one. What do you look forward to about Amber being a mum?
Ooh, what do I look forward to Amber being a mum? Are we talking about pregnancy or actual?
Both.
Both. Oh God. I'm not sure it's something I can put into words really, but it's always something that's beautiful, isn't it? Seeing your wife or even a pregnant woman. It's a beautiful thing. So that's just the pregnancy itself would be really nice. But being a mum, I don't know, good cop, bad cop. She's definitely going to be
bad cop.
Probably. For the majority of it, she would just feel, without sounding corny, but complete. I feel like it's something that you're missing, and it would make you just feel a lot more. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy ride and you're going to be happy all the time, because I'm sure it's not. But yeah, there will be a happiness inside of you that is missing from that side.
So you're looking forward to seeing me happy?
Yeah, I just want you to be happy. I just don't want you to be moany.
Oh God.
Oh no, that don't sound good.
Has Amber ever suggested any awful names for your children that you are totally against?
Oh yeah, she reels loads of. I'm trying to think of any specific ones.
I think there's been a few that I've...
You would just go through a whole book though. You would just go through a whole book, starting with A and then going, oh, and you know, reeling off names. But we know we're having an Italian name, don't we?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know. Yeah, we're definitely having an Italian name, but there's certain English names that I've suggested that Marco despises, like Dorothy. I love. You were very much like, absolutely not. Dorothea, I think we went with. Floriana, you hated that.
Yeah.
You did not like Floriana. What else? Donato, you really didn't like that.
No.
I'm trying to think of other ones. 90% of the names I've suggested, Marco has been dead set against. I'm trying to think of other ones that I came out with. But he does this really annoying thing where you will suggest a name and he'll be like, oh no, because they'll call her this, or oh no. Like, there was one I came up with and you were like, oh no, they'll call her, oh, I can't remember. But you come up with like the most random
nicknames. You've got to think like, if you're at school, you've got to think like if you're a kid at school and what you can do to annoy that person and give her a nickname that they would hate.
That's it. Like, there was, like, for example, Aurora. And he was like, no, you can't call her Aurora because they'll call her a Hora. And things like this. And people would not do that. That's not a thing.
They do. Like, the kids give other kids nicknames.
Yeah, but not based on their name. Like, I was Malteser face.
Yeah, I know, but there are certain names where they'll twist it and they'll...
But yes, basically 90% of the names that I've suggested...
Yeah.
Marco's been...
It's like, I'll give you an example, like my brother, Ricardo. People call him Prickardo. Mum and Dad didn't see it through. They didn't think it through.
Who the hell has ever called Rick?
We call him Prickardo.
You call him. You call
Prickardo.
him in.
Like,
but no, I don't know. I think you make a mountain out of a molehill. But we have got names that I think we've finally agreed on a few, haven't we? Potentially. Do you think it has impacted your relationship, and if so, how?
It has impacted it in points, in moments. Yeah, definitely. Like when Amber was really at her lowest and really going through it, really tough. Like, it was hard. It was really, really hard. She just wasn't nice to be around at all. Yeah. So it did impact it. It did in moments. But after that, without sounding cliche and everything like that, it does make you kind of, you feel like, man, we've been through that. If we can get through this, I'm pretty sure, you know, anything that's thrown our way, we'd be able to get through it. Like, it's one of the hardest things to get through.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, we've been together 8 years now, and I think up until this, I don't think we, like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't smooth sailing. Like, we definitely had bumps in the road, especially in the early days, but I don't think anything ever compared to this at all.
No.
And I think it challenged us, and I think it almost broke us.
Mm.
And again, without sounding corny and cliche, I genuinely think that we are so much stronger because of it. Like, I really do think that we are a solid unit. Like, I think we, like, don't get me wrong, when we want to argue, we can argue.
When you want to argue.
When I want to argue, we can argue. But I don't think, I really do think it has made us a lot stronger than we ever would have been without it, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
You're alright. Alright, fella. What do you look forward to most about being a father? Aww.
Oh man, teaching.
Maths?
Not maths and science and all of that. Just general stuff. Just watching him grow and
Him?
her. I don't know why.
He's pre-decided.
I automatically do that. I just automatically
think. Must play football.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, taking him or her to football. Yeah, would be. That's the ultimate for me. Watching him, yeah, definitely play football. But also films like, oh man, stick this one on, you'll love this. Like Disney films and
Disney
Predator
films.
and Nightmare on Elm Street. Seeing him have his first mate, you know, bringing his mate home or her friend home, and you know, just yeah, all the good things.
You'll be a great dad.
Yeah, I know.
You arrogant sod. But yeah, Marco's just completely kind of pre-decided that we have a boy. If we have a girl, you're screwed.
No, not at all.
You are totally screwed.
It just naturally comes to me to say boy. I don't know why. It just always does. When I say it says boy, but I would in no way be disappointed with a girl.
Like, I don't imagine us to have anything but boys. I think it's a really strange. But when I think about us in years to come, I've never really imagined us having girls. I think if we have a girl, I think we'll be a bit, what do we do? like even picking out names, the boys have always been so easy, because we've just always imagined being a soccer mom with a Volvo, and that's the way it's been, I think. So it'll be very interesting if we have a girl. Right, Marco's final question, which he's itching for, because he's itching to get out of this. I can feel him, his legs are going. This is the equivalent to waterboarding for you, isn't it? Goodness me.
It's not been as bad as I thought.
What do you wish you had known before you started IVF?
What do I wish I'd known before I started IVF?
Like, if you could tell yourself something now, if you could have told yourself something 3 years ago when we started this, when we started IVF.
Yeah, I don't really know. I can't answer that question. Because I don't, you know, you can say I wish I knew. It's nice going into something with 100% optimism.
Yeah.
Like, and if you knew stuff before, like, that it's, I mean, you're always aware that it may not happen, but it's good to have that optimism, I think. So yeah, I don't really have anything that I would. There's nothing else I wish I would knew. I wish maybe scientifically I knew more stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that, because then I'd come back and you'd be asking me so many questions that I just either couldn't answer or I was confused. And
yeah, I'd looked up at the basics of IVF, but I learned so much about the whole process.
I mean, you didn't even know what my fallopian tubes were, did you?
No.
Even after I had them removed. I think about 2 months ago you said to me, what do they actually do?
Yeah.
Which bit did you have removed?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not something that I'd, but I've learnt obviously a lot from it. But yeah, I don't know, there's nothing I change. Like, sometimes innocence is good, innocence is bliss, so yeah, that's it, yeah.
Your little dick.
My little dick? What? What are you announcing that?
I was meant to call you a dick, but I said your little dick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, that's it. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed having you. It's been nice.
I'm a special guest.
It's nice filming with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
you should do this more often.
No, probably not.
No, you should.
No.
You should. If you did like this video and you do want to see more of Marco, then do make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, and do make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I upload every Sunday. I can see you staring at me and taking the mick out of me.
Well, this has been great. We should do this again sometime.
Such a knob. But yeah, so do make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Our renovation starts tomorrow. So all the videos going forward are, well, going to be very heavily renovation, because we aren't going to have much of a house for the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we also have a consultation next month, things like that. So things are going to start getting quite serious again, aren't they, my dear? But yeah, so thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I will see you on Sunday.